All right, good morning, Rabbi Sai. How's everybody doing? A guten Erev Shabbos. We are it's like 20 minutes to 4 in the afternoon in Chicago, which means it's 20 to 5 in New York, and we still have people in New York. Today's shir, Lili Nishmas Imi, Ruzbas Mordechai, and by the very famous Kalman of the Five Towns, in Zchus of Menachem Mendel ben Simcha, Refuah Shlema to Pinchas ben Ritzel and family. He and his family are very sick with COVID. He's in the hospital. He should have a refuah shlema. This is a tremendous gift from Kalman to me. Also welcoming my friend and minion Chabura, Dr. Dan Kaufman from Woodmere, who has officially joined our MDY family. I convinced him to try it last week, and now he's hooked like the rest of us. So welcome, Dr. Dan Kaufman. Yeshukayach. Kalman, it's a tremendous gift. Any additional guy is the gift. Rabbi Sai, last night I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I said we're going to do a shir, and people saying maybe you should do it at 11 o'clock. So I stayed up after shir to 3 a.m., and then I realized I need a clear head for that, so I went to sleep. Then I worked all the way, just got done now. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of Gemara math that we already had basically all the concepts. Gishmaka stuff, so let's jump right into it. We're holding Daf Ayin Hey Amud Beis. No. No emails, no weiter. We'll go weiter. We're holding 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 lines from the bottom. Omar Rav Yehuda Omar Shmuel. Asara batim zelefnim izeh. So, chart number 1, we have 10 houses in a row. How exactly, I don't know if you could see, they are split, 10 in a row. Here's the chutzner, and the only way to get to the chutzner from over here is to go crawl through people's houses until you get to the end. Who makes an Eruv? Now, there's a concept called, that we learned earlier, the concept of Beis Shar. Beis Shar is a vestibule, a lobby of some sort right over here, coming into the chutzner. It's not permitted to place your Eruv in a Beis Shar. So what are these houses considered? Now the Gemara understands that all of these are Beis Shar. They're all Beis Sha'arim. Why? Because they provide access to the chutzner to some of the guys, especially the guy in the back. He has 9 Beis Shars. The guy in the front, he has 1 Beis Shar. So where do you place the Eruv exactly? Listen to this, says the Gemara, Pnimi noisen esei ruvoi v'dayoi. What you do is, you place the Eruv by the red guy, all the way in the back, because he's not a Beis Shar. He's not going through, nobody goes through him. So you go in the last, number 10, he gets the Eruv. Everybody else will be Yaitza with that Eruv. So he's the only guy that has to put the Eruv. Rabbi Yochanan Omar, afilu chitzon. Even the outer ones, the Gemara understands, even this guy right over here, number 1. Says the Gemara, chitzon beisharu. But you can't even place the Eruv there. Forget about it. He's not chayiv in Eruv. He's just a vestibule. Everybody goes right through him. Says the Gemara, chitzon shel pnimi. We're talking about the outer one of the most inner one. In other words, the most inner one is number 10. So the one that's outer to the inner one, number 9. So blue. Rabbi Yochanan says, in addition to putting the Eruv in number 10, also number 9 needs to put an Eruv. Why does number 9 need an Eruv? Why is 9 worse off than number 8? 8 doesn't need an Eruv. So why does 9 need an Eruv? Says the Gemara, B'maiko mifligi, mar sovar Beis Shar di Yochid, shmei Beis Shar. The question is, if a shar, that one person goes through it, is that considered a vestibule? The only guy that goes through number 9 is number 10. Rabbi Yochanan says, just because number 10 goes through him, that's not enough of a reason to consider him a vestibule, and therefore, he's also mechuyev in an Eruv. So these two guys, blue and red, 9 and 10, are mechuyev in an Eruv. The rest are potter because they're all Beis Shar. End of the story. Omer Rav Nachman. Another halacha concerning Beis Shar. Or Nachman or Rav Omer Rav. Shtei chatzeros v'gimel batim b'neiim. So we have a situation where you have 3 houses. 1, 2, 3, a chutzner on this side and a chutzner on that side. Chutzner meaning every chutzner has 2 houses. So if you notice, they put another house here. There's 2 chatzeros open, there's 2 batim open to this one chutzner, 2 batim open to this chutzner. But these middle guys, what do we do with them? Says the Gemara, an amazing chiddush. These guys in the center don't have to make an eruv at all. Why? Based on the halakha that we just said, a beis shar, if you have a vestibule, you don't put an eruv. You're not mechuyev an eruv. So the guys at the end, Seth Helman, Shalom Aleichem, it's great to see you once in a blue moon. How's college doing? So the guys on the side, they're beis sharim. Because the way you access this chutzner, the way the middle guy accesses the chutzner is through this house. So this house right over here, beis shar. This house right over here, beis shar. These 2 guys are not chayiv in anything. So where are they going to place the eruv? In the center. Well, the house you place the eruv also doesn't need an eruv. Why? The whole point of an eruv is we live together. We're in one house. Well, I'm providing my house. We live in my house. Great. You don't need to place bread in my house. My house is my house. So no one is chayiv in an eruv. Shnei chatzeros v'shalosh batim b'neiim, 3 houses in the center. Zeh bo derech zeh v'noisen eruv b'zeh. This guy goes right through, places his eruv in the center. And so does the guy on the left, goes to the center. We're holding the Daf Yomi Amud Aleph. Rashi points out, each one becomes a beis shar. I probably made a mistake by saying it before. Each one becomes a beis shar to the chutzner. If I said differently, correction. Not a beis shar. You don't become a beis shar to the house. This becomes the vestibule to this chutzner. Okay, just notice the top Rashi, beis shar lechutzner. Okay, it becomes a vestibule. The point is, it becomes a vestibule. To what? To the chutzner. This guy to this chutzner. And the guy in the center doesn't need a eruv. And so you have a base. The middle guy becomes a house. That's where you place the eruv. The house that you place an eruv ain't tzarech and it's a pass. You don't have to put bread in the house that you place the eruv. So therefore, all 3 houses are potter. Says the Gemara, Badik Lahu Rachav Rabbanon. Rachav wanted to check if the Talmidim are paying attention, if the Shlufin Erev Shabbos, before Shabbos, thinking about the Chol, we have to go to Shul soon, or they were paying attention. So what did he say? He gave them a little test. He said, Ze bo derech ze, shtei chatzeros, ushnei batim b'neiim. Okay, where's that? There we go. Got 2 houses, 1 and 2, 2 houses. And each house has a chutzner. Chutzner, as we explained before, requires 2 houses in itself. So here's the other house. Not important to our story. There's 2 guys in the middle. The story is, says Rechava, I went this way. Maybe I should have gone this way. Lo meshane. The guy takes his eruv from over here, goes through the house, and places it in his buddy's house on the other side of the fence. This guy, in return, goes through his own house, places it in the other house. So let's just take one example. Follow this arrow. He's going from his chutzner, he goes through his house. What is this house considered? Is the house considered a beis shar? It's a vestibule? I'm just using it to get to another place and I'm placing my eruv? Or it's a house? Well, it's a very big problem. A beis shar, if you consider both of these houses the same, because they're acting the same exact way, whatever this guy on the left does, the guy on the right does. So let's think about it. What are these houses? The beis shar? You can't place an eruv in a beis shar. Beis shar doesn't need an eruv. 0 eruv. So you're going to tell me they're houses? Well, that's a major problem. Because where did this guy place his eruv? On the other side. What is this house number 2 called? A hefsek. It's a chatzitza, so to speak. In order for him, this guy in this chutzner, to get to the other house, he has to step through his own house. That's problematic. You can't go through a house on Shabbos. You can't carry through somebody else's house on Shabbos without an eruv. So what is it? It's a house or it's a Beis Shar. How are you going to view it? If it's a house where you want to place an Eruv, because that's the only way to place an Eruv. If it's a Beis Shar, there's nothing to talk about. A vestibule, you can't put an Eruv in a vestibule. Elamai, it's a house. So if it's a house, it makes a hefsek. It makes a chatzitza. What do? You want to dance on two chasanas? Call it a house / Beis Shar. You want to do that? I don't know if you can do that. Let's see. This guy walks through his own house. This guy walks through his own house and places the Eruv in the other house. And the opposite guy does the same thing, but in the opposite way. He goes through his own house and places the Eruv in the other guy's house. Is there an Eruv? Could I dance on two chasanas? Call each house a Beis Shar / a house. Somebody's unmuted, so please mute. Could I call each house a Beis Shar? Depending. For me, it's a Beis Shar. For you, it's a house. And for you, it's a house. For you, it's a Beis Shar. So the Talmidim wake up and they say, we're paying attention, Rebbe. There's no way, there's no Eruv here. Why? Manavshach. Beis Shar, mashveslei. Hanoisen is Eruv Beis Shar. Achsadra, umirpeses. Einoi Eruv. This we already had. Oh yeah, I shouldn't be throwing these on the floor. If a person places his Eruv in a Beis Shar, Achsadra is a gazebo, Mirpeses, a little no good. You can't put your Eruv there. So Memelo, we cannot consider these two houses a Beis Shar, even though they act as... We're going back. Hold on one second. Let me just... Okay, I just want to make sure. I need to put it on Do Not Disturb. Okay, sorry. Okay, I am back. Sorry about that. Erev Shabbos, without Gary, with the Chevra. One day. I made a bracha already, don't worry. Zog the Gemara. So we're smack in middle over here before my Tayyir brother called me to wish me good Shabbos. So, we can't consider it a Beis Shar, because if we consider it a Beis Shar, you can't place an Eruv in a Beis Shar. Ibayis mashvislei, but if you consider it a house, where did I place my Eruv? In my friend's house. How do I want to carry on Shabbos? I want to go through there on Shabbos, but I'm carrying through my own house where I don't have an Eruv. Says the Gemara, and these guys don't want to make an Eruv with each other. They have nothing to do with each other. Ask the Gemara a beautiful question, a sugi that we're familiar with, especially if you learned Masechta Shabbos with us. Look at this. Had a lot of anah from this one. Special from today. One guy makes two Eruvim for two of his friends. Two of his friends said, you're a rabbi, make an Eruv for us. Okay, so he goes ahead and makes one Eruv at 5:30. See, the sun is shining, it's way above the horizon, 5:30. The second guy, he makes his Eruv at 6 o'clock, Ben Hashmoshes. Ben Hashmoshes, we don't know what it is. Is it daytime, is it nighttime? We don't know. But what happened is very interesting. At 6 o'clock, when he made Eruv number 2, Eruv number 1 was eaten by a cat. Okay, Namor came, ate the Eruv. This is a piece of bread, ate the Eruv. Now, here's the Shaila. You hear what's going on? It's beautiful. In order for an Eruv to be Chal, it has to be before Shabbos. And if the Eruv was eaten before Shabbos, no good. So we're going to say that both of these Eruvim are perfect. Why? Because Eruv number 1 was done when it was still daytime. And when was it eaten? After dark. So if so, how does Eruv number 2 work? He made Eruv number 2 at the same exact time. No, Eruv number 2 was Chal during daytime. Oh, so here's the situation. I'm dancing on two chasanas. When it comes to Eruv number 2, I'm saying it was daytime. Ben Hashmoshes equals day. When it comes to my cat eating my Eruv, Ben Hashmoshes equals nighttime. Rabbi said there's somebody that's unmuted, so please, everybody, please be makbet to mute it. You can hear it later on. Thank you. Everybody's muted now. All right. So here what we're saying, we're dancing on two chasanas. How could you dance on two chasanas? Zog the Gemara. So let's dance on two chasanas by us. Let's call this house a Beis Shar / a bayis. Just like I could call Shkia a Ben Hashmoshes. Daytime for when I created the Eruv, and nighttime at the same time. The same person did this. It's not even two people doing the same Eruv. It was one guy did two Eruvim. We're going to say the one Eruv that he did, it was daytime. And the other Eruv that he did, even though it's the same exact moment, is considered nighttime. So he's dancing on two chasanas. For one of them, he did the Eruv before nighttime. And the second one he did at 6 o'clock was Ben Hashmoshes. They were both eaten. The guy that he made the Eruv during the daytime, we're going to say that his Eruv was eaten Ben Hashmoshes, and in other words, was eaten after Shabbos started. So the Eruv is a good Eruv. And the one who he did the Eruv Ben Hashmoshes, it's considered the cat ate it afterwards. Both good Eruvin. Says the Gemara, hashta. Not a good comparison to Ben Hashmoshes. When it comes to Ben Hashmoshes, nobody knows anything. We don't know, right? Today, you're going to tell me it's Ben Hashmoshes, day, night. I don't know anything. I don't know if it's night or day. So Memela doesn't become a joke. Chachamim don't become a joke to Klal Yisrael, to the Tzdukim. But everybody, you're going to point out to this house. This is a house. Is it a house or it's not a house? Oh, it's both. What's going to happen? The Kaifrim guys, the guys that like to poke fun at the Gemara, they're going to say, oh, look, the Gemara doesn't know what it's talking about. So, if you look at Rashi, the last words in the Perek, he says, Vi mashvinin hachahachi. V'hachahachi, and if you jump on two chasanas, have a mila de Rabbanan, the words of Rabbanan, ki chucha v'tlula, will become a joke. We don't want to give a opening leminim lirdois. We don't want the kaifrim. A lot of times, we were learning a Gemara in Avodah Zarah, and said the snake was so smart, it tipped over the water, it wanted to drink from the wine, it had a whole trick. So a guy that has questions in Emunah, he sends me, there's a website that brings this Gemara and says, look at these Rabbanan, they're so silly, they say funny things about snakes. It opens up a door for kaifrim. If you don't understand what's going on, you don't understand the style of the Gemara, it could lead to kfira. And with that, Hadrun Alach Hadar, Hadrun Alach Hadar, Hadrun Alach Hadar. It's also not a coincidence that today Kalman sponsored once again, and when we started the Perek, he also sponsored, he said he has a daughter named Hadar. I don't know if you recall. So we finish off with Kalman like the way we started. Beautiful. Zog the Heilige Mishnah. Chaloin. So I guess we could take this thing. Hello, this is not easy to make. You know that, right? Especially a guy like me from Panovich. Chaloin shebein shtei chatzeros. A window opening. Basically, not a window. We're not talking about Anderson windows with crankshafts. A window in the Gemara is just an opening. Wide opening. It never closes. So this we had many times already. A human being could fit through a 4x4. In order for it to be a substantial window opening, it has to be 4x4 tfachim. Besoich asara. Yosef Mac, we got to get muted. Everybody got to get muted. Sorry. Everybody's used to coming on and there's an automatic mute. They don't chop that today's Friday. It's a little different. Okay, so arba b'soich asara. Now the window must be below 10 tefachim. We're going to see that it doesn't have to be the entire window. Some of the window has to be within 10 tefachim of the ground. If that's the case, if you have a window that's 4x4, so let's see if we have a picture here. We actually do. Here's a window in a wall. Here's the wall between chatzar and chatzar. Beautiful. There's a fireplace. There's a table with some stuff on it. Great. Here's the window. It's a little bit within 10 tefachim. We're going to see. Here's 10 tefachim from the ground. Here's the line. This red line is a 10 tefachim line. So we have an opening. Fine. So ma'arvim shnayim, you can make either an eruv on both sides of the wall, two eruvim, they have nothing to do with each other. Vimratzu ma'arvim echad. And because there's an opening, there's access from one chutzner to the other, you can make one eruv and both of them can carry it from one place to the other. You could pass it through the window, pass it above the wall, pass it in a hole, whatever you want to do. Pachis midalad al dalad, but if the opening is less than 4, or it's completely all above 10 tefachim, ma'arvim shnayim ve'ein, I'm just going to mute it, Rabbi Isai. Ma'arvim shnayim ve'ein ma'arvim echad. Since you don't have the halachic access, you don't have the width that you need, or the height, the window is too high, it's above 10 tefachim, so you could only do two eruvim, one for one chatzar, one for the other chatzar. You cannot combine the two chatzaris together. Says the Gemara, remember we had a number of times already the concept of lavud. We all know what lavud is. Lavud is that you could take, if something is not more than 3 tefachim apart from each other, let's say in these modern sukkahs that we have today, you take a string, they have this floppy wall, so what they do is they take a taut string, and they put it within 3 tefachim of the next string on the ground. So we say halachically it's all filled in. Reb Shimon Gamliel is of the opinion even up to 4 tefachim. So perhaps our Mishnah is Reb Shimon Gamliel. He says the opening has to be at least 4 tefachim. Why? Because if it's less than 4 tefachim, it's slammed shut. Halachically, it's all closed. Says the Gemara, no, shaykhs. We're not talking about lavud here. Even Rabbanon who say that lavud is 3 tefachim. That's only when a halacha of lavud. When it comes to opening, everybody's of the opinion that in order to make an opening, to have a proper opening, it needs to be at least 4 tefachim. It has nothing to do with the halacha Moshe Sinai of lavud and it's closed, not closed. This has to do with the halacha of opening. Can a human being fit through this hole or not? Is it a normal opening? Now I remember, we had the sugya of the guy that lives next to a bika, and he had a little opening. How big was his opening? 4 by 4 tefachim. That's the concept of opening. Pachis medalid, we're getting there, Rabbi, so we're getting to the math in a second. And it's easy and fun. Says Gemara, Pachis ma'arba, pshita. It says in the Mishnah that the opening has to be 4 tefachim. So anybody with a little logic knows that if it's less than 4 tefachim, it's not good. So why does the Mishnah have to repeat itself? It also said in the Mishnah it has to be above 10. It has to be below 10 tefachim. If it's above 10 tefachim, it's not good. So why do you have to tell me the same thing twice? Well, Tamid Chacham, we're not a lawyer. We're not Amoritzim anymore. Says Gemara, this is what it comes to teach us. I would think that if the entire window's above 10, then it's no good. I wouldn't know this idea that if part of it was within 10, that it's okay. I would think the entire thing has to be below 10. And if the entire thing's above 10, great. And even if some of it is above 10, it's no good. But what if part of it is below 10? It's a good window. Bottom line is, you need some of it. We're going to see soon how much. You need some of the window to be within 10. So it's their choice. They could either say, this is a wall, it's a proper wall, and let's not be friends. You make your own eruv, I make my own eruv, we have nothing to do with each other. Or, because this entire perek is discussing when 2 chatzeros are next to each other, when they could be one, when they're not considered one. And we see in our Mishnah, you have 2 chatzeros next to each other. Here, you could do whatever you want. That's a very interesting thing. On the one hand, I could say, let's be partners. Let's partner because we have access to each other. On the other hand, it's not a real wide opening. There is a wall. So we could also say, we don't want to be partners. Says the Gemara, Tanila, and we in fact see this. Kulay lamala masara. Kulay over here doesn't mean literally all of it, it means most of it. It says a second later. A little bit was below 10 tfachim. That's okay. Now this we need to understand. What does it have to say? Almost 90% of it is below 10 tfachim, which is great. And a little bit above 10 tfachim is also good. I already said that if it's mostly above 10 tfachim, which is a puzzle area, and just a little bottom part is inside the 10 tfachim, it's okay. So certainly if 90% is below 10 and 10% is above 10, it should also be okay, right? If you want, you could combine the two or not. As the Gemara Davi's question, if 90% is above 10 tfachim, 10% below 10 tfachim, it's considered as if it's below 10. So if 90% is below 10, of course it's okay. We had the same idea last night, or yesterday in the morning, I should say, in Eretz Yisrael. The concept of loy zu av zuktani, we start off easy and we build up the chiddush. We say that if 90% is within 10 tfachim, it's okay. And not only that, even if 90% is above 10 tfachim, as long as 10% is within 10 tfachim, it's also okay. And here we go. Circles and squares, Gemara style. Omer Rabbi Yochanan, Chaloi Nagal. Now, how big does a window have to be? 4 tfachim by 4 tfachim. How do you translate that into a circle? Chaloi Nagal. Says Rabbi Yochanan, and it's a major chiddush, that in order for a circle to have the ability to contain a square that's 4 by 4 tfachim, the circumference of the circle needs to be 24 tfachim. See if we have a picture here. Not that we need one. I guess I didn't think it was important. Okay. We're going to see. Okay. So, if a circle is 24, so the diameter is 8. Why? As we're going to see in a second, in Gemara math, you times the diameter by 3. So whatever the diameter is of a circle, times 3, that's the circumference of the circle. So if a circle is 8 divided by 3, if the circumference of the circle is 24, divided by 3, 8, right? 8 times 3, 24. So, if it's 8, if your circle is 8, and you want to place a square in the circle, so that means a square is 4 by 4. That means you have 2 tfachim above the square and 2 tfachim below the square, for a total of 8 tfachim. So memela, your circle, the window has to be 2 tfachim above. 2 tfachim above the bottom of the circle. So the round circle has to be, I'll show you a picture, you'll understand better. Maybe not. Do I not have a picture of this? This I needed a picture. Okay, so pretend that this square is a circle. Here's your line, your 10 tfachim line. So you need at least, at most, 2 tfachim that go below the line. Why? Because you need to contain a full square, a 4 by 4 square, by the 10 tfachim line. And like we explained, the circumference is the height of the circle of this window must be 8 tfachim. So you have to have 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom. Make sure that from this 24, or I should say the 8 diameter, the bottom 2 tfachim are within 10 tfachim of the ground. Shimi Rabeno nimsa mashu b'toich asara. That if you want to make a square within that circle, some of that square should be close to the ground, 10 tfachim. Michdi, the Gemara explains, Kol sheyesh be'keifa shloisha tfachim yesh boi berach boi tefach. So based on this idea that if the diameter is 1 tefach, the circumference is 3, how do we get to 24, asks the Gemara? In order to have 4 tefachim, I mean, we're just going step by step here. The answer is obvious. But let's assume, we're starting from scratch. We have a square that's 4 by 4. So the diameter is 4. So in order to make a circumference for a circle of 4 tefachim, if the diameter of a circle is 4 tefachim, times 3 equals 12. Where did you get to 24? Well, what's the obvious answer? That's the circumference. That's the diameter of a square, not of a circle. Says the Gemara, we should be enough, the circle, yeah, am I making sense now? Yes, no. If we're taking the first of all here, if you have a tefach from side to side, the diameter, that means that the round is 3 tefachim. You times it by 3. If so, if from here to here is 4 tefachim, because that's the size of the square, so you go around times 3 equals 12. So the circle should be 12. Before we say the obvious answer, returning the daf, in memory of my mother, Shendel Bat Aaron Hirsch, and bracha by her son, Dr. Alan Listhouse, aka the Tzaddik. Also, sponsored by the Austin and the Tobias grandchildren, Lid Nishmas our Bobby, Zissel Bas Chaim, who was Nifter on Gimel Mar Cheshvin. She was able to see 5 generations of Shomer Torah mitzvahs. So, returning. Hanimili, says the Gemara, great. Daf Amud Beis, Hanimili be gula. That's in a circle. Ava biribua being in tfei. You can't do the diameter of a square and times that by 3. We're talking about a circle here, not a square. Okay, great. So what's the next step? Michti, this is all Gemara math. Michti, kama merubi yasar le'igol. How much is a square larger than a circle? If you take a square and put it around the circle, how much larger is it? Revia. It's 25% more. Okay, so add 25% to your 12 that we have before. 3 times 4 is 12. Add 20, we're at 16. Again, where did you get to 24? Says the Gemara, that's if the circle is inside a square. My taima, mishum mursha de karnasa. So the Gemara, very simple. If we're dealing with a square that's inside a circle, so what do we have to deal with? We have to deal with the diagonal line from here to here. That's the side to side, the diameter of the circle. The diagonal line of a square. Oh, how much is the diagonal line of a square? So that's another Gemara math that we always have throughout Shas. If you have 1 amma this way, that equals 1 2/5 on a diagonal. Yeah? If your square is 1 by 1, so the diagonal from corner to corner is 1 2/5. So we're dealing with the diagonal because the square fits into the circle. So the circumference, the diameter of the circle, is the diagonal of the square. They're equal. Here you have a circle. It's going to hit these 2 points. And now the Gemara does the math. Michti kol amso beribua amso tri chumsho balachsoina. B'shivsar nechei chumsho sagi 17 minus 2/5 is enough. Very, very simple. Look at this. Here, I did the math for you. This is Gemara math, and I'm going to explain what I mean in a second. We have 4 tfachim. Our window is 4 tfachim, not 1 amma. 4 tfachim. So how much is the diagonal of 4 tfachim? 4 times 1.25, 2/5, 1 2/5. How much is 4 times 1 2/5? 5 3/5, or 5.6. So if you take a calculator and you do 5.6 times 3, that equals 16.8. And that's what the Gemara says. 17 minus 2/8. 2/5. So Mela, the Gemara comes up with 16.8. So why do I need 24 tfachim? Says the Gemara. Yeah. So again, if the diameter of the circle is 5.6, because I need to fit in a 4 tefach square into the circle, so then the diameter from here is 5.6. That means that the amount of tefachim in the circumference is 16.8 and not 24. Where did you come up with 24? Says Gemara, I'll tell you, Rabbi Yochanan has different math than us. Rabbi Yochanan Omar, ki dayana de kisari, v'ami lo ki rabbanan de kisari. Either the dayanim or the rabbanan. The army igula migoy ribua riva. If you have a circle inside a square, you're right, it's only a quarter less. Ribua migoy igula palga. So he says like this. If the square is inside of a circle, and that's what we want to do, that's important to us. We want to get a 4x4 square into a circle. So we take off, or we add 50%, palga, 50%. So we have to add 50%. So 16, how much is half of 16? 8. That's the 50% we're talking about. So add 8 to 16, you come up with 24 tfachim. Now Tosfos asks, but it's not math. It doesn't fit into what we know in terms of math. So there are some that say the Vilna Gaon actually has a nice pshat on the side. And the Vilna Gaon says we're talking about the square that's on top of the circle, which equals 22.6 tfachim, which is very close to 24. You machmir a little. That's how he wants to say pshat. Otherwise, others say that yes, the Dayanim of Kesari, they knew math. They weren't shaitim. They didn't, I learned in Panovich, I don't know math. They're not going to make such a gross mistake in math. But what they said is that if you want to put a circle, if you want to use a window that's a circle and not a square, don't start playing calculator games with me and say, what equals a square? I'm going to tell you, I'm going to throw out a number and you have to stick with it. It has to be an easy number for everybody to remember, and that there shouldn't be any mistakes, and you shouldn't make it less. Yeah? 24 in circumference. That's how they say the pshat is. But anyway, Tosfos wants to say that they meant they didn't understand them well, etc. All right, so that's the end of the sugya of the math. Says the Gemara, Pachos min arba al arba, Omer Rav Nachman. So the Mishnah says that you have a window that's 4x4, you can combine the two chatzeres. That's great if it's between two chatzeres. But if it's between two houses, it's completely different. We don't care what the height is. The height could be more than 10 tefachim. My timer. Because the house is as if it's full. What does that mean exactly? Is it halachically full, and that we don't consider height at all? Height doesn't matter to us? Or the pshat is it's easy to climb up to that window because you have a couch up against the window, you have a table up against the window. So that's what Gemara asks over here. Eisvei Rava l'Rav Nachman. What's going on here? We have a brayz that says, Echad li chaloin shebein shtei chatzeros. I don't care if it's a window between two chatzeros. That's our case of our Mishnah. Ve'echad li chaloin, let's see, we have pictures here. This one was easier because it has all the cases in one shot. It's I forgot what it's called, not a side view, a cutaway of a house. So if you look closely, you have, this is our case, a window between the chutzner and the chutzner, a window between two houses, a window between ceilings, a window in the attic, and a window on the roof. Okay? Windows everywhere. And the Brisa says there's no nafkamina what the window is, where the window is, how the window is. They're all the same. Now, I just wanted to show you how the Kol HaLashon does the window. Beautiful. Just because of the beauty, I printed this out. It has nothing to do with the pshat, just to enjoy a little bit. Here's a beautiful house with a nice gezunta wall on top, on the roof. This is the window. With each case, he made his own picture. I didn't have patience for that. And a window in the roof. But look at this. He has a pot over here. He has a broom and hay, and it's just the gewaldig. Oven here, oven there, flowers growing out of the window. He went all out, this guy. See that? Okay. Fine. But what's the bottom line? Between in the attic, in the rooftop, between two bedrooms. Kulon arba al arba b'sachasara. There's no difference between a chutzner and a house. Rav Nachman just said there's a difference between a chutzner and a house. In a chutzner, it has to be below 10 tefachim. But in a house, because of the svara of the whole house is considered full, there's no air, whatever halachically, there's no height. There's no height limit. It could be even above 10 tefachim. Says the Gemara, Targumua achatzeres. Targuma achatzeres. So you have to explain that when he says, over here in this brayz it says, echad this, they're all the same. No. It's only talking about the one halacha that there's no difference. What height? In the chutzner. I'm sorry. That there is a difference in the height. Only in a chutzner there's a difference in the height. Va'echad li katani. But at the end of the day it says they're all the same. All these cases are the same. This one, they're all echad this, echad that. They're all in the same category. Terguma adalit al dalit. So there's two parts of this brayso. There's the part that the window could be 4x4. That they're all the same halacha. 4x4 is the measurement. There's another halacha in the brayso. Height. There's no enough. When it comes to a house, there's no height. When it comes to an attic, no height. When it comes to a chutzner, because it's outdoors, then we have to consider 10 tefachim. So the 10 tefachim limit is only on the chutzner, not on the house. Lul habasuach. What's that? It's if you have, this is the cutaway of the house. You have an opening, like a fire in a firehouse. You got this little hole in the floor. They used to use that a lot. And you have a ladder over here that go up there. So, lula batuach min habayis la'aliyah, tzorch sulam kavua la'tiroi, or ein tzorch sulam kavua la'tiroi. We had a sugya about sulam. A sulam, a ladder, has the ability to break down a wall, we said. If you have a wall and you have a ladder, it's as if you could go from side to side. Shalom Aleichem, Reb Nachum Horowitz, how you doing? It's great to see you. I didn't notice you. Shalom Aleichem, it's great to see you. It's been a while. All the way from Baltimore. Sulam kavua la'tiroi. Do you need a permanent ladder and say, so what's going on here? Two guys own this. One guy lives in the top floor, that's his residence, that's where he lives, it's his. The guy in the bottom. Now, if I want to consider them, one, do I need a ladder? That's kavua. Says, what's the shayla? When I say that a house is full, now, what's the problem? We have a window, but guess what? The window is very high up. And a high up window above 10 tefachim doesn't count as a window. But it's inside a house. But maybe we're only talking about vertical windows, not horizontal windows. This is a skylight. This is a flat window. This is a window that's between floors. In other words, it's not standing up. It's a flat window. Maybe that rule doesn't apply. Why not? What's the logic? When do I say this concept that the whole house is considered it's full? Even a skylight will be considered as if it's within 10 tefachim. Even the ceiling is within 10 tefachim. That only works on the side. But if it's in the middle of a ceiling, no. Why? Because you could say the nafkamina is as follows. If you say that a house is full because physically there's a couch that I could climb up, any window is within my reach, that's physical, and that's on the side of the house, but not in the center, not in the roof. It's very difficult to climb into a window that's in your ceiling just because you have a couch. But if you say halachically your house is considered full, there's no air, there's nothing in the house, it's all one halachically, so then what do I care where the window is? It could be flat on the ceiling, it could be standing up on a wall. There's no height at all within a house. Amalei, Einoi Tzarech. It's a halachic concept. The house is full, it's a halachic concept. And therefore, you don't need a ladder at all. You don't need a ladder that's permanent in the house. Savar Minah. So he thought, Sulam Kavod and Tzarech. He thought, okay, you don't need a permanent one. But you need some sort of temporary ladder. Itmar, not true. Omer Rav Yosef bar Yumi, Omer Rav Nachman, Echad Sulam Kavua, ve'echad Sulam Arai, Einoi Tzarech. You don't need any sort of ladder at all. Halachically, we are within the 10 tfachim of a window that's in the ceiling, even though it's 100 tfachim above the ground. But halachically, my entire dining room is full with invisible material, and it puts me by the window. Let's do this Mishnah. We could repeat it tomorrow as well, but we'll do it just to get to the Gemara, to say that we did today's Amud. Easy Mishnah. If you have a wall, now, I just want to show you real quickly. I like this picture a lot. It's a picture from the Oiz V'Hadar in my Gemara. And it shows you a solid, serious wall, and there's fruit on top of the wall. And that's what the Mishnah is going to be discussing. But I want to show you how Yoni drew it, and I like his better, just it doesn't have color. Now we know throughout the Masechta Shabbos, anything that's 10 tefachim high, 4 tefachim wide, is what? Is a reshus b'fnei atzma. It's its own reshus. So what do you do? There's a tremendous separation between chatzar. There's no window. There's nothing. So Mamela, this guy makes his own eruv. This guy makes his own eruv. But what if there's a nice geshmaka meal on top? What do? I don't have an eruv with you. You don't have an eruv with me. But guess what? It's its own property. It's its own domain. Mamela, let me show you Yoni. That's why I like Yonis. It gives us a better geschmack understanding what's going on here. These two guys, in other words, Yoni is showing you that where do you eat the fruit? Only on the wall. I don't have the right to take the fruit off the wall and bring it into my chutzner, because then I don't have an eruv from the wall to the chutzner. I have an eruv for within my reshus. So what do you do if you want to take a nice geschmack snack? You stand there, you eat like that. And he shows you eruv over here, eruv over here. It's a beautiful, it has a lot of detail, this picture. Anyway, next. You're not allowed to take the fruit down into your chutzner. Nifratz HaKoisel, beautiful picture from Kol HaLashon. I'm going back because there's a picture, and I'm taking the best of the best. Over here, this wall got destroyed. So now, I don't know if you can see. You see? Right over here. So there's an opening from chutzner to chutzner. Well, it depends. Ad 10 amos. And this we had in the beginning of Masechta also. 10 amos is the limit. Ma'arvim shnayim, then it's considered one open giant chutzner. V'imratzu ma'arvim echad. Tremendous chiddush. There was a wall here, and you could see there was a wall here. So if they want it, you don't say, oh, it's one chutzner. No, it's actually 2 chatzeros with a nice opening, a nice doorway. So therefore, they have the option. They could say, I want to do it as one chutzner, so it's one eruv, or they could say, no, we have nothing to do with each other, 2 eruvim. It's considered a doorway, not a blown open wall. But if the opening from side to side is more than 10 amos, more than 20 feet approximately, then you can no longer say that it's 2 separate chatzeros. Look, there's absolutely nothing separating the chatzar. Therefore, you make 2 eruvin, 1 eruv. Have a wonderful Shabbos, and if you're in New York, and Chicago, and the rest of the world, in Baltimore, and have a wonderful week. If you're watching this in Eretz Yisrael, L'shana Abba B'Yerushalayim, Be'ezer Hashem. I'm hoping next week to get out of here if I can. Marty, I need some advice because I heard from a surgeon. I'm not going to say where. A certain surgeon that lives in a certain city, a certain block next to yours, and he says if I get a bunch of tests and they're all negative, then I don't have to be so makbid on the 14-day quarantine. I know you're going to go crazy on that. I know it. I see your face even. What? Hold on. Sorry. Okay, now. What did you say? What the different types of
316 become 5.6. Have a great Shabbos.
Good Shabbos, John. Where are you? Where are you, Jonathan?
I'm in rainy Florida.
Oh, my daughter is there now in the house in Miami. Go say hello.
Yeah, I haven't seen his son since I got here on Monday.
You're the guy that's doing all that?
Yeah.
It's your fault.
Saying Panovich math is an oxymoron.
Shabbos,
My Machronim Vaser.